Hello and welcome back to another Jovi TV video. I have much to tell you about China, including more about the food and a brief historical lesson from one of my favorite mountaintops. But before I do that, I prefer just to tell you about a great trip I just had to Vietnam. Before I show you some of the videos, there are a few fun facts about that country that I found to be interesting when I got there. The first is I needed a visa to visit Vietnam, not just a tourist visa that would include my passport. I actually had to apply online and pay a fee once I got there. There are 40 countries from which citizens of that country do not have to have a visa to enter Vietnam, but the United States is not one of them. And in that list of 40 countries are Laos, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, Panama, and St. Lucia, but not the United States. So I found that very interesting. Without further ado, it was an epic trip, and if you ever get the chance to go to Vietnam for even just 48 hours like I did, I would highly recommend going. See you in the videos. So here's the walk on the way to the Hanoi Hilton, the well-known military prison that was used for American fighter pilots during the Vietnam War. I'm walking through the hallway to one of the cells. You see two cement platforms that served as beds and some very tight and chilling living quarters. They said that these weren't used during the Vietnam War and were only used by the French to torture Vietnamese soldiers. The second thing we did, and which was more fun, less educational, was ride motorbikes. There's my friend and travel companion Mike, as we adventured a little bit outside of the center of Hanoi so that we could ride our bikes with a little more space and a little faster. It is so much fun, and I highly recommend renting motorbikes and riding around if you ever make it to Hanoi. You can see here, he's probably going about 25 miles an hour, not that fast, but it feels kind of quick when you are open and out in the elements. This is what it actually looks like in town. You can see it's incredibly congested, and people are riding motorbikes going both directions at a fairly slow pace, just trying to avoid each other. And now, it started in the bathroom. You saw that was a squat toilet. Here is the walk, the view of a walk from the back of the restaurant, which was the bathroom, through the kitchen. There's the kitchen. There's some nice cooks who let me by. It was really hot back there and slippery. And now I'm walking through to the seating area of a pho restaurant. We ate at 3 of those, and this was one of the most interesting. They had 2 menu items. They had beef noodles and pho. And that was it. And as you can see, there's not an available seat in there. It is all about the food. Here is the view from what is called Dai Phun Ngoc Fountain, which my pronunciation there was probably way off, but it's kind of the center of town. This is an idle Tuesday afternoon, and you can see there's a bit of congestion right there. People just drive their motorbikes wherever they can, and they fit through, and they make it work. I only saw one fender bender, which is very surprising because riding motorbikes there is quite challenging.